in terms of going for the podium place, Evenepoel's taken a massive leap forwards, and I would say yes, his GC is now back on track.
Obviously, yeah, Tadej Pogačar, fantastic ride by him. He was going to wear the yellow jersey again. I mean, he's wore the polka dot, the rainbow, and now the yellow jersey. So he's having a bit of a big wardrobe for this Tour de France so far. Good ride by him. I want to get on to Visma Lease bike, but I think we should acknowledge this as well. After the doubts of the Dauphiné, where we were kind of saying maybe it was something with the setup that they were trying, maybe it was a bit of bluffing, whatever. But yeah, here he's showing that he's well and truly up there with the most elite time trialist we have today.
The best ones like in the world. I mean, he beat Affini on an absolutely flat time trial. Like, Affini's the European champion, and Pogacar's never gone like full gas, I feel, for like worlds or European, like these kind of international ones. But in a Tour de France, my word, this guy can absolutely rip a time trial. And the fact that he was only 16 seconds behind Evenepoel today, I think is super impressive for a guy who's not, like, he is a fantastic time trialist, but Remco Evenepoel is a multiple world time trial champion. And over a longer discipline, like 33 kilometers, Pogacar's done an incredible ride today. So he is just, even though he didn't win, one of the more impressive rides of the day for sure was from Poggy. He didn't really, he was always kind of behind on the time splits, but he was just chipping away. Not really Evenepoel, but Vingegaard mainly. That's the main thing coming out of today, is the gap between those two.
But I mean, Patrick, the big story, I think, is Jonas Vingegaard losing that amount of time. Worrying. Obviously, it was a flat time trial, yes, but still 13th, 45 seconds down, or no, far down. And yeah, what do you make of that? What went wrong here? Is there a massive problem now for Visma Lease bike? I mean, he's not looked like pinnacle Jonas Vingegaard throughout this season. So yeah, I'm a bit worried about this if you're a Jonas Vingegaard fan. Is this start of the end in some respect to them chasing for the yellow jersey? Are they ever going to get the yellow jersey now in this year's Tour de France?
It's looking like it's going to be pretty hard to do, because he's now a minute and 13 in arrears of Pogacar. And I think that actually Vingegaard's looked very good in these first few days. He's been well on it. He's been positioned well. He's been looking really punchy. These shorter efforts he's been really good at matching Pogacar. And I've been very impressed by what Vingegaard's been doing. And I don't know what went wrong today. In theory, I thought this is going to be, quite a close battle. I expected Poggi might have put like maybe 15, 20 seconds into him, because although the Dauphiné TT suggested that Vingegaard was the better one, I feel like that was more of a pacing error. I think that Poggi just got that one wrong. And I feel like on a flatter TT at the end of the day, Poggi is a heavier rider. He can probably produce more absolute watts and is therefore going to be better. So that was just my kind of expert eye, not really educated on aerodynamics, but that's why I was taken from it. But I wasn't expecting like a minute gap between them at all. And it's weird, isn't it, how you'd think that Vingegaard would have lost time in the punchy stages to Pogacar and then maybe like done better in the time trial, but it's actually the other way around, where he's done better in the punchy stages but worse in the time trial. So it's just like Visma fix one problem and then another one pops up. And it's not also just Vingegaard, like Jorgensen finishing 11th place today. That was a bit of a shocker as well for me, because I was thinking that, well, Jorgensen, for example, he finished ahead of Lipovitz in the Dauphiné TT, as did Vingegaard. Lipovitz was 6th today. That's where you would have expected those guys to really be finishing, around the Lipovitz, Vauquelin area. So I feel like something must have gone wrong today, because otherwise I would have thought they would be in that zone.
It is a bit of a shame here. It's kind of a punch in the gut of the GC battle here, because obviously we have a second time trial happening as well. And we saw in the Dauphiné head-to-head Jonas Vingegaard and Tadej Pogacar. Pogacar was just playing with Jonas as if, he could get rid of him whenever he wanted to. So it's a bit worrying that as well. But what do Visma Lease bike do now? I mean, now they're really on the back foot. And like you said, they defended so well, had very good offensive strategies in all those punchy stages, and limited the losses to only a handful of seconds. And here, what do they do now?
I honestly don't really know.
They're
Uh,
listening in, Patrick.
they're thinking the same thing. They're like, what do we do now? We are a minute down. How do we beat Pogacar, who's been kind of whooping us for the last month or so since the Dauphiné? I don't really know. I think you just got to keep going at what you're doing. Like, these just keep bashing away these punchy stages. Yeah, those have been going really well. So just keep playing to your strengths with that. Keep trying to put Pogacar under pressure on these punchy stages. That I mean, I doubt that's really going to be very fruitful, to be honest. But you got to keep trying, essentially, and hope that when you come to the mountains later on, maybe the legs come good. I just don't know whether it's like what went wrong for them today. I feel like it wasn't. I feel it was more that something went wrong rather than necessarily Pogacar did something like right. If that makes sense. Because the fact that it happened to Jorgensen and Vingegaard, I feel like that's more of like a team issue rather than a rider issue. Because I would have thought that both of them would have been up there, right?
They clearly didn't hear what Affini was doing.
No, clearly not. Yeah, it's like what Affini's up there, so I don't. This is why it's so confusing.
Yeah, that's true. But we might as well switch our focus away from this Lease bike. In terms of that top 10, the GC looks very interesting now. Your boy Lipovic, he's in the top 10 now. Kevin Vauquelin is above Jonas Vingegaard, which is a crazy thing as well. I think he doesn't have the white jersey anymore because Remco's ahead of him. But yeah, I mean, there's so many exciting riders. Mathieu van der Poel is still in there as well. Roglic is still, well, is in the top 10 as well. And we've got interesting riders on the cusp of the top 10. Tobias Halle Johannessen, Santiago Buitrago, Enric Mas, Ben O'Connor he did a fairly good ride as well. So it's a fairly close battle, I think, or I would say like the top 20 right now. But obviously we're only on stage 5. But who kind of shocked you in a good way and a bad way out of the other riders today?
I think Vauquelin was very impressive today. We've seen good TTs from him in the past, but longer ones like this, flatter ones, not necessarily his cup of tea. So I think Vauquelin really punched above his weight today. Maybe it was just a home field advantage, getting all those cheers all the way around. I feel like Vauquelin was super impressive today. Who else was good? In a strange, only losing 2 minutes, and he's just outside the top 10. I think he'll be certainly looking at the next couple of days and seeing these as good opportunities. I think he's just having a good tour all round. I think Almeida was. I would have thought maybe